birthday, the Mystery Children Podcast. Happy birthday, Mystery Children Podcast.
Hey. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, this is Trey.
Steve. And I'm P.
Welcome back.
Yay, 24.
It's episode. Yeah, it is actually 24, finally.
Number 24.
I'm tired of all those miscarriages we had. There's so many fuck-ups, but yeah, we're on 24 now.
So we made it again. We've switched from the middle of the week to the end of the week.
Yeah, thank you guys for meeting.
Yeah,
Today.
it's all good.
Yeah, how's your week? How's
PJ can't make it. Too busy strangling family members.
My week, it's cool. My week's been super vanilla, man. Just nothing exciting. Well, jiu-jitsu's cool, but I don't want to go into all that, It's
Always with the jiu-jitsu. Always with the jiu-jitsu. With a Z.
I almost put this dude to sleep back. Well, I wasn't even holding it long. The dude was already slumping over.
It's kind of like that. Sometimes guys will gingerly tap, and I tell them fight your ego and tap like you really need to get out of it, because sometimes you don't feel it. You're flipping around and shit, and they're like, I want to give you.
I think I just
Paul Harris says that.
Exactly.
I think I just got lucky. Yeah. I think I just got lucky, and I hit both sweet spots at the same time. The dude's big.
That's what it is.
Hitting both sweet spots.
Yeah. He sat up. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. So I was like, I really got to put some heat on this neck.
God damn, this doesn't sound good.
The dude tapped me. He's like, I saw he's a white belt.
I saw my great grandmother.
He's like, no, he was just like, I saw the tunnel, and he was
Jesus
just
was
staring.
telling me,
I was like, oh,
go
man.
back. Go back.
No, I was like, oh
It's
shit,
the
I'm sorry, man. I
shoes.
wasn't trying to go. It's just I really wasn't trying to put the heat on his neck like that. It's just I was trying to get my arms on him with the fucking gi, man, and I really slipped it in, and the shit happened. So
Nice,
I felt bad. I was like, I'm sorry, man.
That's good, man.
But now you fucking know.
I was happy. I had a nice little teaching session. I'm not usually teaching people, but I was with this white belt, and it was cool. The kid was super receptive, and I think he might have been on the spectrum, maybe, but he was a really good kid, and he was like, "Oh man, I learned so much in just the few minutes we've been training than the week that I've been here."
Oh, yeah,
I think he's kind of one of the kids. It's one-on-one. You got to do one-on-one and go slow, and not everyone has patience for that. But
Yeah, no, I love teaching, man. I think it's dope.
yeah, it is cool, man. So no jujitsu craziness for me. I'm not killing people like Steve. But.
No, I wasn't. I mean, I got that in, but I mean, it's been pretty chill.
Nice.
Dude, on the way over here, I had a question that I didn't want to ask because it was probably going to derail the steam. But I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay. Steam engine.
What is the worst injury you've ever had in your life?
Worst injury? Oh man, when
I got married. Am I right?
oh yeah, my brain.
No,
for me is when we were practicing takedowns against the wall, and the dude didn't do the drill right. The person against the wall is supposed to swim under the arm and then swing the person into the wall. Uh-huh. So I had him pressed against the wall. He's supposed to swim under and push me against the wall, and I gotta resist him. For some fucking reason, he just thought it was oh, this is a better idea. How about I grapevine your leg, and I try to push you down. So when he did that, my leg, he pushed me down, but since he was grapevining me and he pushed me down, he stayed up. So did my fucking bottom half of my leg, and it fucked up my knee.
Yeah.
I wanted to kill this dude.
That's the worst you've had in your life? That's the worst injury you've had in your life?
Yeah. And I couldn't walk for
I couldn't
walk.
LeBron James strong.
I couldn't walk like a regular person for 3 months. Walking with a limp for 3 months. That shit sucked.
Mine's a toss-up between dislocating my knee and tearing all my ACL, MCL, all that bullshit, and dislocating all the metacarpals in my hand.
Yeah.
That was hilarious because when they were all pushed up into my wrist, the first thing I thought of was Bruce Willis dislocating his shoulder, and remember he slammed it into that fucking point. And I was like, I can do this. So I put it up on the hood of my car. I was like, and nothing went in place. I saw lights, and I was like, whoa,
Pass out.
don't do this again. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I think when you do any kind of sports when you're younger, I don't know, anything crazy, you're bound to have some fucked up injuries.
Yeah. I have two. Mine was one when I was younger. I was knocked unconscious by doing a header into that. I did a header off of
just seeing you do a header is already
from a bunk bed. I was pushed backwards off of a bunk bed, and my head slammed into the edge of a wooden table.
Fuck,
hell yeah!
Knocked me unconscious. I woke up in a hospital.
No shit.
I mean, I don't remember how old I was. I was maybe
like 8.
No, I was a little older than that, maybe closer to 12.
God damn, you were a big ass kid flying off that bunk bed. I can just imagine.
Yeah, but
you're not just like a little thing flying.
I see like people coming in and they see like a tuft of Trey's hair in the corner of that desk. They got that shit in the jar.
No, it's a tuft of hair and a little bit of beanie.
Well, dude, but you were speaking about the guy that you were rolling with, saying he saw the tunnel. Mm-hmm. That shit's real.
Yeah.
When I was coming back to consciousness, it was a small hole where I could see light.
Yeah.
And then that hole got a little larger, and then it was like, shoo,
and you're back.
And then I was back, and there was a nurse like, "You okay?" I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
I hope she had mad cleavage just dangling in your face.
I don't remember that, but I do remember going in and out of consciousness. I remember coming to and hearing my mom go, "Oh my God!" No. I was out
mom
again.
Like, I'm out, Mom.
And then I came to again where they were dragging me out of the car. I remember them carrying me out of the car. Then I went under again, and then the next thing I remember was this nurse.
I'm gonna also go out on a limb and think you might have had a concussion. I don't know. Might have had
probably.
They like didn't monitor. Yeah, that's scary, dude.
Fuck, man.
So it was that one, and then, as with all young black kids, I was hit by a car.
Oh, you know what? I got hit by a truck.
I got hit by a car a couple times.
Fuck, man, I was on my bike.
Sprung both of my legs, so I also couldn't walk. I couldn't walk at all for maybe like 2-3 weeks or so.
Damn, you said all black kids.
Hey, if you're in the hood, everybody gets hit by a car.
Right. Well,
and it's on your block is one of them. You got to get hit on your own block.
It's true.
Some guy like peeled out of his fucking driveway going in reverse, like he took me out.
Fucking vans were still in place. We were racing. What we used to do is we used to race our bikes in the parking lot of our apartment complex. So there would be like 10 of us. We'd be just going. It was bound to turn into something really bad.
For sure.
And this monster truck, I'm just gonna call it that because it was it was a lifted truck, came burning into the whatchamacallit, the parking lot. Mm-hmm. I was leading the pack, so I was like, yeah, and I was looking back at them, and I see them all stop, and I was like, what?
And fucking Wayne's World,
dude. As soon as I turned around, that bumper smashed me, dude. I don't know if I went out or not. I just remember I got up and the truck peeled out and took off.
That sucks. Hidden ride.
And all my friends were there. They left. They went home, and I was like dragged myself to my fucking apartment. yeah. I was like, I didn't tell my mom.
No bottom half.
Well, I didn't tell my mom because I didn't want to get whooped. Too.
Of course.
On top of that, my dome was already hurting. So
that's how you know you had strict parents, like when you were afraid to tell them that you were hurt.
Remember, you just got hit by a truck.
Don't say shit.
I remember one time I had a lot of knives when I was younger, and I had a scalpel. I don't know where I procured this scalpel from, but I was trying to carve I had this hockey puck. I was trying to carve the label off of it, and it was really tough. And I was like, dude, like nothing. It went right through my fucking thumb. I still have like an inch and a half white line across my thumb, and dude, it was just pouring blood. And I was in my room. I'm acting like a fucking idiot.
Didn't say anything.
Didn't say a goddamn thing, dude. I went in, dude. I swear to God, it bled for over an hour. It bubbling blood.
I believe it. Damn, dude.
I had put so much pressure on it.
You giving yourself a blood transfusion in there? You give yourself a blood transfusion?
Dude, all I did was make a butterfly bandage, and I actually put super glue on it too. And I just prayed, and eventually I prayed, and it stuck together. And my parents never found out because I was like,
"We get in trouble."
I was gonna get in trouble.
You know what that reminds me? When I used to go visit my aunt up in Bakersfield, I used to walk through this field, and there's tons of bottles, like glass bottles, everywhere. And I got the bright idea to stomp these things out. So I would smash them. Dude, I would smash, and I was like, this is so easy. And I would smash them like every day. Like I was doing it
I'm assuming you have shoes on, right?
I have shoes on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not that.
Nah, he was fucking barefoot in that shit.
Just socks.
Yeah. So I had shoes on. I had Vans.
I don't put condoms on. I don't put socks on shoes.
Nothing. I live on the
edge. Raw dog everything.
So I was telling my aunt about it for some reason, or my cousin, and she overheard or something. She was like, "Don't do that. You're gonna get hurt." I was like, "Shut up!" In my brain. The very next day, I see a bottle. I'm like, "Ooh!" I hit this thing, and like, of course, it's cylindrical. So when I break it, it curves and hooks right into the side of my foot.
Oh.
I pull it out. And I'm like, "You're okay. You're okay." And I'm just walking home. "You're all right. You're all right." Dude, I felt my whole like shoe getting warm, right? And I was like, "Holy shit." I walk in and they're like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey," and I walked straight to the bathroom. Dude, I took my shoe off and my sock was full of blood.
You're like
dude.
tongue pound to the fist, you know, the guy when he's walking and the blood just squirting out the top of his shoes.
And then I was like, "Oh," but I never said anything, man, because I was like,
man.
dude, she told me, and she'll whoop me too. So I was like, nope.
I don't want my daughter to experience any of the physical, physical things that have happened to me. Like as far as like just being a stupid kid, like getting cut by glass, stepping through nails, like shit like that. I'm like, please don't do any of that.
I'll do a final one before we move on. When I was in West Covina, we discovered tumbling, me and my cousin.
Right.
So we're tumble and flip and stuff like that. And somebody had the bright idea, "Oh, why don't you do a front flip off the top of the house?" So
I didn't know you had to.
So, I was dared. I had to do it.
Pretty much.
So I did the shit and I landed it, but you have the fucking inertia.
But your
legs. I land. No, I land and the legs are fine, but
you're still
I get pushed forward. I get pushed fucking forward. So I hit the mat and I land on the fucking mat. And then I'm like, I get fucking launched into into open field and shit like that. All head. Landed on my head, dude. And it was funny because you guys speak about not wanting your parents to know what just happened to you. I was like, same thing. I was like, "Oh, I'm cool. I'll be fine. I'll totally be fine." And right away, I got sleepy. And you're not supposed to go to sleep. Yeah. Concussion symptoms. Right away,
in the bushes. I'm so sleepy.
Right away, I was like, "God damn, I'm tired, man." They let me go to sleep. Like my cousin was like, "Yeah, just take a nap, man. Just sleep it off."
Your face was all swollen up like Sloth in the Goonies.
I could have went out. I would, never come back.
Hey man, that's not a bad way to go.
That's true, actually.
Just go to sleep.
The last thing he died as he lived, tumbling. All right, Joe, let's get into this intro topic. This one is kind of great. I don't know did you submit this, dude?
Yeah.
Okay, well, a 29-year-old woman in a coma gives birth. I read up on that too.
Was she getting smashed while she was in a coma as well?
Yep.
Well, that's what they say, Travion.
Yeah. I'm so.
Did she know who the father is, or was it a Maury situation?
No. So
they knew who the father was.
Yeah.
He left his DNA all up in there.
All in there.
What a fucking dickhead. He gave her the fucking.
He did a Kill Bill on her.
He did a Kill Bill on her. Yep. My name is Buck,
dude.
and I like to fuck. Yeah, fucking creeper.
So it says Phoenix police arrest nurse after woman in vegetative state for 14 years gives birth. So, yeah.
So if you ever wondered if that had happened ever, yes, it does happen.
It does happen, man.
That's fucked.
So the crazy thing is, she's in like a kind of a nursing home, so they have their own private rooms, and the nurse, the male nurse that was checking up on her, he
got the unconscious conjugal.
Yeah. So he was 36 years old, Nathan Sutherland, right? So he was in. There was his turn to kind of like take care of the situation, and little did he know he was making sweet love to this unconscious woman.
Yeah.
And on December 29th of 2018, she gave birth to I believe a little boy. And what's the
little boy unconscious?
I'm not even gonna jump on that.
I'm sorry.
It's a medical question. Okay, it's a good one. You just don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I couldn't
help it. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry.
Just
came out just quiet.
The fucked up thing is, that he's a rapist. But my thing actually that I was questioning too was like, is she live on with less like trauma than a normal rape victim because she wasn't even like aware of it?
Yeah, aware of it.
At least she's asleep, right? Like, it's a fucking disgusting act, but she didn't have to live through the trauma of like getting choked and fucking,
I mean, what does this guy look
Sally,
like?
you know you're a rape victim, right?
Really?
Me?
Yeah, right? Like, she could wake up and be like, huh? Like, she wouldn't know. She would never even
Well,
know.
you know what?
You're a mother. Like
you know, but it says it's kind of weird though. She's 29, but it says she's been incapacitated since she was 3.
who keeps someone alive for fucking 20 years?
But at the same time, though, like
in a vegetative state,
but it says she's only been unconscious for 14 years.
Those numbers ain't adding up.
It's weird.
Somebody math is off.
But let's say that she's been like in the dark for fucking since she was 3.
Yeah.
She's gonna wake up a 30-year-old woman with a 3-year-old mentality.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's true, huh?
That's the first penis she's ever had, right?
yeah, she got deflowered by this unruly man.
Yeah.
So it's
really fucked up.
fucking crazy, dude.
What's it called?
Imagine if that was-
necrophilia.
Yeah,
That's
there's
not
a bit of
necrophilia.
that.
Oh well, because that would be a dead, right?
That'd be a dead
I
person.
mean,
yeah.
Okay.
just like
She's
a
as
really-
close as you can be to a dead person.
or
yeah.
like a really bad date, you know? When you
what a cold fish. Yeah, it's fucked up.
no, but dude, what a sick fucking dude. And
Oh man, imagine if you were a family member, you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna murder him.
Fuck that.
oh yeah, for sure. But check this out. They didn't even know she was pregnant.
Yeah, that you know how much that actually happens. A woman doesn't know she's pregnant, or people don't know someone's pregnant.
Well, you know what's fucked up is in my mind, I naturally had this visual of what she looked like. Like she might be like a slender woman. And how do you not see that protruding?
Yeah.
But maybe she was like a little bit more heavy
Just saying
set.
fat.
You know,
Well,
maybe she was more of the
a little
big bone status. You know,
well, let's say she wasn't really eating to accommodate
that's true.
a child either. So
So yeah,
she had a real
Was the
fucking
child
thin
healthy?
baby.
Do they say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Little boy was all good. So
Good.
yeah, and the next thing, the nurse is like, she's moaning.
Wow,
Like what's happening? And they're checking on her. And next thing, she's crowning.
And is she still? Did she wake up?
If she comes around,
I don't think so.
Imagine-
It doesn't say. It doesn't say if
She gave birth in a vegetative.
imagine
state?
those stories. Mommy, how was I born?
I don't fucking know.
Would it? So you got a father that raped your mom, who's in prison, and your mom is just in like a vegetative state. Like, so now what? What about this poor kid?
Yeah.
Got the grandparents though, probably.
Good. Put that fucker behind bars forever. That's all I need to say about that.
Fucking wow. So, anyways,
Nasty. On to local and national news.
Oh shit. Okay, so Trump defends white students who mock Native American man at protest. What I thought was hilarious was that there were black Israelites that were also amongst this chaos that was happening between the Catholic students and the Native Americans.
Right.
And
where'd they find a Native American guy?
I don't know. It was a group of a group of the last surviving 8 Native Americans.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But what was interesting is that the black Israelites that were within this whole cast, they were the ones who were primarily antagonizing both ends, both the Native Americans and the Catholic, the young Catholic men or boys.
Wow. Yeah.
And nobody said anything about them. They just, for whatever, the media, for whatever reason, decided that they were going to focus primarily on the white Catholic school kids because they were all wearing Make America Great
Yeah,
Again
so
hats.
the video is this group of kids. They're from Covington Catholic School, like all boys Catholic school in Kentucky. And yeah, all these little fuckers had their little MAGA hats on. And the video that they show,
mean hats.
yeah, the video shows is just that Native American dude beating the drum, and
okay.
the homeboy's little kid is just like smiling there in
like
his
smirking,
face,
yeah, smirking
smirking
in his
like
face.
little smug fuck, and all of his friends are like jeering in the background, like yeah, you show that fucking redskin, you know. They're
I don't know if they said that though.
No, they didn't say that.
Yeah, they didn't say that. But
No, I inserted that.
that type of stuff was coming from the black Israelites though. And
strange.
for whatever reason, their audio was just lost. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
So they said that that dude, the Native American dude, came in the middle of that to break up what would be kind of like a little, you know, a little like fight or whatever. Not
Between
really
the
a fight.
Israelites and the white
between the
kids?
black Israelites and these kids. I mean, which would have been ridiculous. So, anyways, it got shortened into just what we saw. Like it got totally abbreviated into that.
He stepped in to be the peacemaker, and they both
So
turned on
they
him.
shit like the whole nation shit all over that school, and they like closed their Facebook page. And
Nice.
the kid was supposed to get like expelled or some shit. I don't know, but the kid was trying to like defend himself, like saying, "Oh, we didn't do this." We did that. Look at your face, dude. Like,
he
get out of here with that
totally
shit.
knew what he was
You
doing.
knew what you were doing.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they weren't the aggressors that the media was painting them out to be.
Exactly.
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a little more potent when it's the white kids with the MAGA hats on, and if you're like, oh, and the black Israelites, the people are like, nah.
Well, the thing is, I thought it was interesting that for the first time in American media history, the black people being the aggressors was just swept under the rug. I would think that would be the story.
No, it's more potent because this really like this white versus thing that's going on right now. I mean, that's just my assumption.
Yeah,
it makes the story more juicy, But if you have like, oh, blacks and whites were talking shit to this Native American guy, people are like, oh, dicks, like. So I mean, that's just a wild guess. I mean, I don't know.
When I was watching the video, it's interesting how zombie-like human beings can be.
Oh, dude,
especially when they attach themselves to an ideology.
Kind of like mob mentality,
these
right?
Are really young kids,
Yeah.
and they already have the idea that "Make America Great Again." We totally, subscribe to everything this guy is saying. It's just an interesting way to deal with life, especially being that young. You have so much ahead of you. You have so many things you could be worried about.
How old?
Why are you campaigning for this shit?
They're like 16, maybe.
Dude, when I was 16, I didn't give a fuck about the president and making America great again. Dude, come on, man. Go get on your bike.
I'm just thinking,
do something else.
How different do you think their parents are than them?
Not that different.
You know what I mean? They're a bunch of fucking dum-dums who are like, yeah, go ahead, wear your MAGA hat and, go out there and protest. They were out there for an anti-abortion thing, right? Or something like that. That was their initial thing that they went there for, so.
That I don't know.
Anyways, that was kind of whack Arnold's.
Yeah,
that just angered me. Oh, by the way, I put up a post on Instagram. On Facebook. I think you liked it, where I was just talking about racism in general.
Yeah,
and how prevalent it is today.
The video that you put up what was that from?
It was tied.
From?
It was tied to this.
Okay.
Yeah, it was tied to this. That made me just think of that. But it's funny how many people grazed over it, and all of my family members and other brown people liked it. All the white people in my life is in people who I train with and stuff. Not even one. Not even one. Who cares? Who cares? And that's the fucking problem right there. Is that if you're willing to be neutral about shit, then the oppressors are gonna. I think that's a Desmond Tutu quote or something about neutrality. Like if you remain neutral, then the oppressors win, because it's like you're just like, oh, you want to be passé, you want to be laissez-faire about it and not acknowledge it, that it's a problem. Then
people don't give a shit, especially about things like that.
I know.
It doesn't impact their immediate circle. So
yeah, exactly.
But that's anything that comes with global warming or how the environment's changing. Like people aren't going to take a stand until it's in their backyard.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And they're like, it's like recently, I guess the bumblebee's now on the endangered species list.
That's crazy.
I just killed one earlier today.
And they're like a huge part of our ecosystem, right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we need. They said that if all the bugs in the world, if they were to die off, I think they said people will last. The species of humans would only last 50 to 80 years. After that, everyone would be dead.
That's crazy.
That's what they say. I don't know shit. I'm just saying that's what a thing that I read.
That's kind of how an ecosystem works, though, right? When an integral part of it collapses, then
it's like domino effect.
Yeah.
It's like, but until we are killing each other over water, nothing's going to be done.
All I know is I got a gun, so if you got water, it's mine.
It's my water.
It's my water. Put down that Perrier, motherfucker. I'm going to adopt that voice in the apocalypse.
PJ really changed since the apocalypse happened.
This next one is going to be really quick. Florida governor resigns after photo surface of him in blackface as Katrina survivor.
That's just
so. There is a Florida secretary. His name is Michael Ertel. So he resigned Thursday, and he resigned because there was a photo of him in 2005 that resurfaced where he was dressed up as, I guess, a black woman.
Oh,
it was just a traditional, I guess, a hood mother or something. He had a head wrap.
Oh,
he had a head wrap. He
a hood mother.
A hood mother. So he had a New Orleans Saints head wrap. He had earrings.
No, he's Florida's new Republican governor. His name's Ron DeSantis. This guy. I have, unless this is a whole other story.
This is another story.
Are you sure? Okay. Because I got a photo to accompany it.
Well, dude, I'm looking at CNN right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, I said Michael Ertel. Michael Ertel is the Secretary of State, and so he announced that Ron DeSantis.
Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
No.
That's why we're here. We got fact checkers.
Fact checkers.
Got fact checkers. So, anyways, that's his Black Mama outfit right there.
Yeah. So he had Black Mother outfit. And
it's fucking crazy.
It was way back in 2005, and I believe this was a Halloween party during that year. And recently, since he's become the Florida Secretary of State, somebody decided they were going to throw a little monkey wrench in there.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
this
politics.
shit popped up.
I mean, come on,
that's House of Cards.
Really? Like, you're gonna wear a shirt that says Katrina victim? People are so fucking heartless.
Yeah, what a
if
piece
you
of
had
shit.
everything fucking taken from you and no one give a shit, you're like, haha, let's mock them. Like, that's what they. I mean, oh my god.
Yeah, and I think to make matters worse, he was also like an integral part of the Katrina situation, like, you know, organizing all of the rescue teams and all of these things, you know, to come in during that time. So
That's why shit didn't get done, because he was
Yeah.
Damn.
It was like, whatever.
But
they'll get there soon enough.
He had a.
He tied a bunch. No.
So he had a statement regarding this whole situation, and it says, I am submitting my resignation as Florida Secretary of State effective immediately. And he basically didn't give any, like, there was no rebuttal from him. He basically said, well, you see what I did, and, you know, there's no excuse for it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I wholeheartedly accept everything that comes with, you know, this picture surfacing.
At least he manned up about that, right?
Yeah. That really sucks. I don't know how I feel about it.
I would have liked if someone, like, they get caught like that and they're just like straight up, I'm a racist. Wouldn't you have so much more respect to be like,
Well, you know
okay.
what? Everything would be shut down. People couldn't come at you. Like, you're just like, oh yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Imagine
Fuck
people are
black
like racist, racist. Yeah, if someone came out
black
crazy,
people.
imagine like he's ranting like DMX style, but just all racist
I said
shit.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I really hate blacks. Put me in jail. I don't give a fuck.
Then if someone were like, "You're a racist," like, yeah, that's what he said.
I know.
Sadness, yo. No more blackface, everyone.
Yeah, whatever.
If you're thinking about it for this year's Halloween, don't.
They asked like a couple of those Catholic school cats about what they felt about blackface, and they said that they didn't see anything wrong with it.
It's because Al Jolson is their great grandfather. All right, next up, Steve, you could do this. Is all you.
Okay, well, guys, I don't know if you heard, but the flat Earth. There are people out there believe the flat. Okay, so we've talked about this before. The flat Earth movement, though, is growing. So on National Geographic, they did a flat Earth kind of like interview, right? So they basically
Hold on. Sorry.
What's up?
I was right. It is Michael Ertel. It's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' office who alerted the media that Michael Ertel has resigned.
Oh,
So it is. It's flip.
I see.
So it is Michael Ertel. This is from CNN, folks.
Well, this
I don't know. I got it right here, y'all.
I'm going to read what CNN says. Florida Secretary of State
That's
Michael...
printed on a paper. This
Hold
is an
on,
official
hold on,
publication.
hold on. Florida Secretary of State Michael Ertel resigned Thursday. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' office confirmed.
All right, whatever.
I'm right.
All I know is Florida's
For
fucked.
once.
I'm
right,
just
Steve,
reading
I'm
what I
sorry.
got.
No, it's cool. Actually, I'm gonna send you guys a photo. I meant to send you guys, which kind of ties into
Steve,
this.
I know that you did the National Geographic thing, but how much of that is people fucking around, and how much is that is people being authentic? Because if you look at like posts online regarding, like, go to like an Eddie Bravo post about flat Earth,
Yeah.
how many people are straight up like Russian trolling style? You know,
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you know, that's
Come on.
that's the thing. And look at the photo. I
it's cute
just
to be
sent you.
fucking ignorant now. You know.
Yeah.
But have you seen what... Let me see. What you looking at?
So I meant to send. We were at an antique
Big
shop.
deal. That's at the antique shop on Crenshaw too. The guy has a bunch of
Mammies.
black memorabilia. And it's funny because the first thing he told, it's funny.
There's another one if you swipe.
Steve just
Another
sent us some
apple.
pictures of like some mammy fucking dolls at an antique store. Listen, the
It
one
says Little African next to it. Damn, homie.
Oh, I didn't even see
at least
that.
they said African. It could have said something else. Okay, so
Dude, but there's a fucking alligator about to eat a baby African.
That's
Have
because-
you seen that?
I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't even look into it, dude.
do you know that's what they used to do to the African babies? They used to throw them into the fucking swamps and get eaten by alligators.
Damn.
Humanity sucks.
Damn.
fuck.
Europeans
Steve,
are terrible.
That was here, dude, in the fucking South. Okay, so anyways, what was I saying? On Crenshaw,
Trolling, yeah.
on
Oh,
Crenshaw,
yeah.
the dude, when I went in there, it's a black owned antique shop on Crenshaw. It's down the street. Like we've bought a few things from this guy. And first thing I see is like there's a whole bunch. I was like, damn, you got some real old like
stuff here, mister.
You got some real old racist shit here. And he's like, I can't. He's like, I'm not selling anyone any of the black memorabilia. That all stays. And I was like, who wants to buy that? Is some old white guy gonna come here and buy that stuff?
Oh man, it'd be weird.
You know, he's like, you'd be surprised how many people want to come in here. I was like, nah, man, I don't really want to fill my house with a bunch of fucking racist shit.
There's probably quite a few people who collect that type of memorabilia.
It's weird though. It's very very strange.
It's like collecting Nazi.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's cool. So you're right. There's the trolls and everything like that. But the only reason why I watched this particular thing was because it was by National Geographic.
Okay.
And so they had this woman who was speaking to the head guy. I forgot his name, but he basically is like kind of leading the charge on this flat Earth, and he's saying that prove to me that that the Earth's not flat.
Yeah.
And he's basically we see all the stuff that they show us, but that's all just like a big just a big like thing to keep us in the dark.
If I'm just thinking about the idea that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Is it just the Earth? Because I've said this before. I can see the sun and it's round.
Right. So basically, this is how this goes down. So they do an unboxing of how they think the Earth actually looks. Right. So they have like a traditional globe, and he goes, "Here's what the Earth actually looks like." So he opens up this box and he pulls it up, and it's like a dish, right? And it's got the Earth.
I've seen this,
right? But then it's got a glass dome.
It looks like a fucking contact lens, right?
Yeah, exactly. and so he's like, so here's the wall of ice, and then he's like, and then.
Wall of ice, that's Game of Thrones.
That's when I flip the table and I'm not dealing with this shit. Get the fuck out of here.
And he's like, and then the sun and the moon are actually really small.
Here's the land of ogres.
Yeah, and so he's like, the sun and the moon are actually really small, and then the stars are just lights. And I was like, and the lady's like, explain yourself. Like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, the lights. So basically, we're in like a stage. All the world's a stage, and you're on it, and we're created by a higher being, and this is their way of watching us and keeping us contained in this thing,
Okay.
I'm like,
maybe.
All right. Okay, but
whatever.
But anyway, so what she does is she invites them to an experiment where these scientists, they went to Salton Sea, right? And they said, okay, what we're going to do is, and this is what a scientist did like a long time ago, they painted stripes on a billboard, right? And they got on a boat. And then they observed this boat from land, and this boat would just go all the way out, keep going until it hit the curvature of the Earth started to happen. And as the curvature of the Earth starts to like form the horizon, I should say, if the Earth is round, each stripe will start to slowly disappear, right, on this billboard. And, and it did. She goes, so he's looking at it, you saw that, right? And he's like, yeah. She goes, well, how do you explain that then if there's no curvature to the Earth? He's like, that's easy. It's from the heat. It's like a mirage from the heat.
The problem is, if you're talking to someone who believes this firmly, you've already lost them. Why even talk to them?
Let it go.
When people are too stupid to fucking understand things.
Yeah.
Somebody who believed in the flat Earth, I was speaking to this younger guy, and he showed me a schematic of how they believe the sun and moon system work in tandem with the flat Earth theory. And it was ridiculous to me. It was a situation where the sun and the moon were moving, it would be like horozontally.
Okay.
So they were moving in a circle around each other.
Yeah, they're just like haloing.
Yeah, haloing, following each other. And I was thinking, well, I don't.
Part of the Earth is in darkness at some point, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking, wouldn't I be able to see both at the same time? Then,
at some point,
if that's how it's working, he was like,
well, there are times when you can, but
there's no actual scientists standing up for flat Earth because it's so ridiculous.
It's silly. Yeah,
and the funny thing is that like it would have to be like the largest conspiracy on Earth for astrological physicists or astronomers, all those people to dedicate their lives. Anyone who works for space.
What purpose would it serve? To keep us in the dark about it.
Well, another thing is this is like, why can't all those same principles apply on a round Earth? Like we're being observed.
What is the problem? Yeah, why fight why fight our theory or whatever of a round Earth? Like, why fight that?
But yeah, it's
what
like
do we have to gain or lose by it?
Like we can
gain nothing.
We can be observed on a round Earth.
Yeah.
You know, and but I have no idea. But so basically, it's now starting to pick up momentum. Like more and more people, celebrities.
Go for it.
It's starting to pick up momentum primarily amongst millennials.
Because
they're young and they think they know everything, just like we thought we knew everything when we were younger. And, you know.
At least we experienced shit when we were young. Jesus.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I was younger, there was absolutely no one my age speaking about how they thought the Earth was flat.
Not one person.
You know,
not one.
Because now people are content with their fucking, with all their luxuries, and now they're bored, and they're like,
exactly.
"Whoa, let me challenge something that's completely outrageous."
And that's probably the like the byproduct of having so much knowledge at your fingertips. You know, having and not only having like the truth at your fingertips, but also having things that rebut the truth. You know, there's so many theories and ideas at the fingertips of millennials that it's easy to decide, well, I'm just going to go against the grain and let's entertain this over here.
Well, you know, I'm going to start a conspiracy then. The guy who's leading the charge on this, I think he knows he's full of shit and he's just looking for a free ride to space.
You know what? Send his fucking ass to space then.
Yeah, he's going to be like, and he'll be like, see that, sir, the Earth is round. And he's going to be looking out the window. He's like, oh, yeah, look at that.
I want all the flat earthers to jump on like a giant rocket and send him up into space and not tell him that we're sending him into the fucking sun, because I don't want any of those people.
Keep it going.
I don't want any of those fucking guys reproducing.
We overshot it. We overshot it.
Bye.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Don't worry, the sun's small. It's not going to do anything.
No one can ever answer that. That's the first thing I ask a person. Are we the only one that's flat? Because I'm looking into the sky and that's round. That's a ball right there.
It's clearly round.
So why would we be flat, but that's not flat? Yeah. It's complex.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. Like, your thoughts?
Sadness. I'm sad at the people's stupidity.
But yeah, so it's so my main thing on this was that for some fucking reason it's picking up momentum and it's starting to grow. It's sad.
Steve, you should jump on the boat. Why not?
Nah, I'm good.
I'm gonna buy you a flat Earth shirt. Hey man, this next one is yours. I actually didn't. I saw a headline for it, but it didn't interest me. I was like, man, who cares?
Yeah,
I was like, great.
This is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, because I was just like,
yeah, I was like, wait a minute. So now it's like saying Latinos are converting over to Islam, right?
But like traditional Islam or Orthodox or American Islam?
No. Like
fruit of Islam.
not like the fruit of Islam. They're not selling pound cakes or whatever it is right now. They're
bean pies.
Or bean pies. But so basically, this all kind of started in, well, let's say the hub of this whole thing started. It's in Houston. So they're saying the segment of the Muslim population that's growing the fastest is amongst Latinos. Mm-hmm. And the first, I guess, mosque for Latinos is in Houston. Mm-hmm. And I guess they're saying it's growing fast. There's an estimated count of 250,000 followers. And it's still growing. And they want to know why. Why is this happening? When did it start happening?
Cultural appropriation at its finest.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying, like, yeah. Well,
everyone wants to be Middle East.
Yeah, the disenfranchised.
Jump on the train, Latinos.
Yeah. So the guy was asking him. The reporter was asking him, well, why would you want to double down on yourself like that? Like, one, everyone that's Latinos being, they're under a microscope right now, and on top of that, you're also gonna be Muslim, which is also, what I mean?
That's not good right now.
He's like, man, he's like, well, it's just, I think people don't understand what the faith is, and that's fine, and that's true. Also, it's true, but ignorance is ruling right now. So,
proceed with caution.
Yeah.
Before you roll out your prayer rug, look around.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, a lot of these dudes, including myself, you can look like Middle Eastern real quick, man. It doesn't take much. You grow a beard, you throw it.
Steve, you right now.
He got a bomb.
Yeah,
Hey, there's a Latino Muslim center like right down the street from me on like and it's funny, before 9/11, it's called like, something de musulmanes, like it's like something Muslims in Spanish. And then I think after 9/11, like a bunch of rocks got thrown through the front of their place,
shit.
like smashed up the front of their sign, and then they replaced it like with it says their name but very small, and then it says peace for all, hatred for none now. And I was like, I see.
Yeah, Pete, that's fucked up, dude. Why you do that shit?
Get that shit out of my neighborhood. I don't like it.
It's crazy though.
It is wild, but Latinos a lot of them have that deep religious Catholicism,
extremely religious.
from the Spaniards, they brought all that shit to
Yeah.
them. So it's so deep rooted that if they're going to follow one Orthodox religion, it doesn't surprise me that they would follow another, or at least have a resurgence in that. I don't know.
But the thing is too is like
Usually they're heavy Catholics, right?
Yeah, super heavy.
Yeah.
They're in fucking church right now, right up the fucking street.
On the way
Yeah,
over
it's
here.
true.
I seen
a ton of them.
I seen one guy in like a space it was like a makeshift church.
Yeah.
It was just are they called pastors, ministers?
Pastors.
Yeah.
Usually the pastors.
It was just the pastor and one other guy, and he was like disseminating his sermon as if it was full of people.
Yeah.
It was just him.
That's dope.
So the thing is, where I live, there's like 20.
Party. It's Friday night,
Oh man, these mics are so sensitive.
They
It's like crazy. But like just in this one little square area, there's like 20 churches.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's a ton of
It doesn't
churches.
make any sense. Why are there so many churches around here?
Also, why is there so much violence? There's so many churches.
Exactly. So it makes me think of maybe they're not all real churches. You know what I mean? Maybe they're like
I'm like, I don't know, what is it?
well,
Fucking drug houses.
yeah. Well, you guys haven't seen Ozark yet?
No.
You guys gotta watch Ozark. But a lot of them could be used. I'm not saying they are, but it's why are there? There's like three of them right next to each other, all different churches.
Yeah.
Some can be used for like money laundering, for like drugs, or doing other
You
sort
should
of
get on
things.
that.
Or
Get on the case.
Or what's all of a sudden we just got like this one little area and everyone wants to be a pastor and has a church. It's weird, man.
I want a tax-free establishment.
The Chris Hansen of fucking church.
Senor, why don't you have a seat?
Hey, why don't you have a seat here? We heard you've been selling
Senor, siéntese.
rocket launchers out of these pews.
He just like opens up a big fucking like wooden box. It's just a rocket launcher chilling on top of all kinds of hay. Can you explain this?
Oh no!
Ay,
I have to leave. I have
No,
to leave right
no.
now.
Sorry.
no English. Tries to run.
It's like, assalamu alaikum.
As he walks out.
No, man. But a lot of these churches around here are probably like apostolic or Pentecostal or something like that. But yeah, man, anyways, that's
Good for them.
You know what? But I did speak to when I got off the train one day. This guy had a table set up, and he said something about Jesus, and we love Jesus too, or something.
That's when I start swinging.
Yeah,
It said we love Jesus too.
yeah, or no, Jesus believed in Islam too, or something like that. So whatever.
You're
Said,
like, no, he didn't. Goodbye.
yeah.
So,
So I was like, well, what do you mean by that? Just I'm not angry. I was just it was like an interesting
It
thing.
made your blood boil.
Yeah, I remember. So kill you.
I'll send you to Allah right now. Get ready for those virgins.
But the guy, is really was compelling. Just like the things he was saying were like they're very interesting, and like you're like, that's interesting. Okay, so I can see how people can get, I don't want to say pulled into it, but like kind of like the curiosity is piqued, right? So.
Yeah, because I mean, largely people's ignorance is what's tugged at. Is that they don't know that most people don't know the history of the religion that they choose to follow. And that's across the board.
Yeah.
Most people are blindly following.
That's very true, yeah.
They're blindly following because especially something like Christianity in the black community.
Right.
Most black people who have practiced Christianity for 50 plus years know very little about the core ideals and the history behind Christianity.
Right.
And it's because they haven't had to. It's like a a rolling ball effect.
Right.
You've been raised by a family structure that has imparted the values of Christianity on you, and then you in turn impart those values, on your offspring, and it just kind of keeps going and going. And at no point does anybody ever look up and say, "Why do I actually believe in this shit?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So, but
Good job for them, man.
Yeah,
Good job for
hey.
Islam. This one's mine.
No,
Google DeepMind destroys pro players in StarCraft 2.
that's interesting.
Okay, you changed pitch between that. So Google's DeepMind is on a tear.
What is
He can't
Google
be
DeepMind?
stopped. That's Google's
Supercomputer?
AI supercomputer.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, so that's their virtual intelligence like computer. And this one was this is their London AI. So they have other ones.
Throw Call of Duty on there, and I'll whoop that.
They beat the shit out of everyone, out of the world's top players in, now it's chess. They destroyed all the top people in chess. They destroyed all the top people in Go, which is like supposedly like a very intense and very complex game.
Chess makes sense because it can be broken down mathematically.
Yeah,
But
so DeepMind's AI agents conquer human pros at StarCraft 2. Humans win a single match, leaving room for improvement on both sides. So the improvement for the AI would be for it to completely destroy you every single time, 100 times out of 100.
is the AI learning, or is it programmed?
Well,
So shouldn't this
here's
be
the-
attributed to the programmer?
Here's the interesting thing, is that StarCraft is not like Go or chess where you're able to see openly what your opponent's doing. So it's like it's
Predicting.
It's like it's changing, it's
Adapting.
it's adapting like on the fly, milliseconds, and there's nothing that these players could do. They said that the DeepMind basically moved like unlike any player that they've played before.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, man. You know what? All
They
you
use
need
that shit on the war field.
StarCraft is supposedly is actually a game where you like I think you like build armies and you train them, and then
It's not fucking good. It's not good.
yeah. So
it's already learning fucking
Military
military
strategy.
strategy. Oh.
yeah. So I just think it's interesting because what's the end game for a computer that intelligent? You know,
kill all the humans.
I don't know.
Well, how soon before?
I mean, that's
how
what I think,
soon
you know?
before it's fucking my wife is what I want to know.
Steve, where you going? You gotta take a pee-pee?
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, man, it's for me it's intriguing. I'll be dead before this thing takes over the earth, so I don't care. But
Are you scared in regards to like the future of AI?
you know, I feel like you'd be a little bit foolhardy to underestimate.
I know Elon
where
is.
it will go. You know what I mean? Because if something is that intelligent and is able to adapt on the fly for something as simple as a game that could be okay, so then what's next? You know, they're already building, like Boston Dynamics and DARPA and all that shit. They're building these incredible robots. You've seen them, like they're
Those
fucking
little dog
They're
robots?
running.
Oh, no, I've
Dude,
seen-
imagine being chased by one of those dog robots.
and that shit's flipping and
It's
shit.
flipping. Dude, they're opening doors. There's pretty soon there ain't gonna be no place you can go. You know what I mean? And then you implement a hive mind from one central. I mean, that's a Skynet fucking kind of situation.
Yeah.
I think every time that we develop something that's so far ahead of us, we always abuse it.
Yeah.
So I mean, where do you think that's gonna go? I don't know.
I mean, and now we're developing something that if we totally get our way or the programmers get their way, where they're just setting something in motion and then it's like as you said, adapting and learning itself. You're basically just pushing this boat out into sea.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't know where it's going to
You
go.
don't know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
The boat is gonna grow larger. It's gonna grow different engine.
And
It's gonna,
it comes back with
navigate.
fucking munitions and shit on it.
Unloads it onto the dock. Like, yeah, man, it's I don't know. Anytime scientists propel technology further, they always use it in a manner that's somewhat. I mean, drone technology. That's in our time. That wasn't in the Iraq War.
Yeah.
That maybe it was. I don't think it was.
I don't
but
think so.
I feel like drones is a big thing.
Well, I guess we
now.
didn't know about it.
Or if we didn't know about it, yeah. So anytime they develop this rad fucking new technology that blows your mind, they always want to see what's the application for us to get ahead of our enemies,
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be used in a military sense. everything for the most part always is. Like, can we use this in a military sense?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, first and foremost. But that's really scary.
Yeah.
I think the idea, I mean, to be honest, to me, even the idea of genetically modified human beings is scary, because once you genetically modify them on a like physiological level just to be stronger and faster than the typical human, then why would you need us? Why would you need regular human beings at that point?
Exactly.
You know, especially for things like labor or work.
To build more of them.
I mean, because if I'm a large corporate entity and I have to pay motherfuckers to do a job, and I have to pay millions of dollars for people to do a job, why not just pay like a few top level programmers to program all of these whatever beings to do the job? And I could be like, shut the fuck up. You're not even a real person. So I don't have to supply you with a salary or anything. Just do this fucking job. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to pocket all of this money. I'll pay a few of these guys, you know, millions of dollars, and they'll be content. And then you just like cut all of your fucking working staff, all of your employment staff. You cut them. It's going to be interesting, I would say, especially 100 years from now. I wonder how many actual human beings will have jobs, will be employed.
Well, you know, they say that the creatives will be one of the only ones that are employed, you know.
Until they teach that fucking thing creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know,
it seems intangible. It seems like something you couldn't facilitate.
I don't, but maybe, you know.
Well, look, put the artwork of every major master in every major field. Doesn't matter what it is, sculpture, whatever medium you use, charcoal, pencil, and then put a fucking paintbrush in their hand. What couldn't they do?
See, technically they'll be sound,
right? But they don't have the ability of was it abstract thought?
See, that's the thing, and those things come from
now.
Experiences. Right. That's the thing that
emotion.
I always wonder if they'll be able to download to have experiences that aren't linear, where their experiences in that happen with that AI in the same way that human beings deal with experiences, where they just kind of come at you and you find ways to deal with them as they come at you. Because if you make them linear, you're not going to have that breadth of the breadth of the ability to, I don't know, like either not just go A, B, C, but go A, B, D, F, Z, 9, you know, and still have something come together at the end of that that's cohesive, you know.
Yeah. They're taking over.
Well, so I just went and used the bathroom right now, and they got the urinal and they got the toilet, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me why both of them had piss in them.
Well, they always have piss in them when I go, every time.
What happened? Is there like a designated person who's like, oh, this thing needs some piss, and then it's time to leave them? Yeah.
What if it's one guy who like unloads half his bag into one, and holds his dick hole,
and goes to the other one?
Look, let's load in the other ones.
There's adults going in there and taking pisses. Like, what happened in your life that you don't even have enough sense to where you can lift your hand, take your phalange, and press on something, and
or
that's
your foot.
it.
Shit.
Your foot. I use my foot.
I use my foot too.
How much time does it take? And like, do you leave piss floating around in your toilet bowl at home all the time?
No, because that's a personal toilet bowl.
Right. So they say though, right? Like the things that you do and nobody's looking is who you really are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? So the small little things. So if you're the type of person that like pisses or does something like that and doesn't flush the toilet, that's the actual who you are. That's like a part of your character.
The penalty for that is that you should have a group of your peers piss all over your face.
Yeah.
I'm like, there you go.
Yeah. So like no one's gonna judge me right now because this is who I really am. I'm gonna leave this piss in there, and it's funny because it's just that small little thing, but the small little thing actually branches out to much bigger things and how you treat your family and like friends.
Oh, just go look at the street. Like people don't give a shit about the fucking street. There's trash all over the fucking place.
Yeah, we got a long way to go, and I think the AI robots are gonna take over before we can start flushing our toilets.
You guys ran into one of those kind of AI robots.
A security bot.
I saw that thing on the news. Good day, LA. I saw that. I saw that thing like literally a day or two prior to Ruth putting that up, and I was like, "Oh shit!" They met that security robot. I just imagine someone two-piecing that robot, just knocking it. Get the fuck out of here! Let's get CT'd.
Because we were going down the escalator, and Ruth's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh my god, it's a security bot." Because I've seen them before. And I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "What is it gonna?" And she's like,
"I didn't see it. What is?"
It's like it looks like a giant cone.
Just like a cone on wheels.
On wheels, yeah. And she goes, well, what does it do? I was like, well, if you do something bad, it has like 2 barbed tasers that shoot out and,
Does it
tase
actually,
you.
though?
She's like, what?
It doesn't, right? No. It just records everything.
It just records everything. It's just a busybody. It's like your neighbor.
It's a fucking busy.
It's a
Dodge those barbs and shit.
no, son. But all you gotta do is,
just push that thing over. Get out of here.
Fuck out of here.
You ain't that advanced here, motherfucker. Have one of your friends kneel behind it and you fucking push it over. Schoolyard.
Schoolyard, this nigga.
Oh, man. Hey, so let's move on to the next shit. World news from around the world.
So, the world's 26 richest people have same wealth as poorest 50% of the population.
Yeah. Can I get a slow clap for greed?
Yeah.
Steve didn't clap. He was touching his dick. Come on.
I was like, ooh, that sounds good.
So basically, this piece was saying that the richest people in the world, so the 26 richest people, did it say 26? Yeah, so the 26 richest people in the world, their collaborative wealth, they have the same amount of wealth as the 50 poorest people, and 50% of the poorest people in the world.
Population?
So, the population. The 50% of the poorest population in the world. So they could fucking buy and sell like 50% of the population.
Man.
And that is an insane, it's ridiculous,
It's just sad.
So it's 3 points. So they have the combined wealth of 3.8 billion people.
Damn.
You could 26 people.
You could help
26
so
people.
many people with that money.
It's insane.
But
How many Uncrustables could you buy for everyone? How many Lunchables could you buy?
a couple boxes.
At least a couple boxes, right?
What the good cheese?
And they're saying that the wealth of billionaires has increased by 900 billion in the last year.
I mean, there's actual trillionaires.
It's just becoming like a caste system for the world,
This is or 2.5 billion a day.
Wow.
So,
I'm ready to move into the sewers.
And it's saying that the poorest 50% of the world, they're actually in a 11% decline in wealth. So the poorest people in the world are making less money. The 26 richest people in the world are making an extravagant amount of money. They're making, on average, collectively 2.5 billion more than they've made in the past a day.
Makes sense.
That's crazy.
Good for them.
And then this was fucked up. Like right toward the end, they decided to shit on black people by saying a new study also published this week by Policy Studies, a left-leaning Washington D.C. think tank also revealed that the 400 richest Americans own more wealth than all black households and a quarter of Latino households.
That's because they realized they missed the black Israelites topic, and they're like, how can we shit on them to make up for that mistake? They got you. Sorry, man.
That sucks.
That's crazy.
What do you feel about that? Do you feel that if this disparage keeps trending, that we'll get to a point where it's all out revolt? Because there'll be such a gap between people with all the money, and then the people with no money.
What would be hilarious is if we stop honoring that currency and we made our own currency, and they're poor as fuck, and then we just have our own shit.
Well, because it seems like if this keeps trending in this direction, there is going to be no middle class.
Right? No,
there's just going to be extravagantly super fucking rich people, and then there'll be a huge fucking gap, and everybody else will be just considered poor.
They said that we're going further and further towards that, where there's no middle class, which is terrifying.
It's shrinking.
To be honest.
The middle class is shrinking. But well, it's crazy. I mean, it's funny though, because it's kind of leads into the next topic.
That's Steve's, right?
Yeah,
go for it.
China's household debt is rising faster than any other in the world. So the thing about China is obviously being communist and everything. They have done like a hybrid of like capitalism and communism. Mm-hmm. So they're pumping out a ton of millionaires, right? With the factories and all that, the sourcing and stuff like that. So basically, what's happening is now, I'm assuming the Western idea of consumption is coming into play. So you got all these things starting to happen, and now they're saying that China's household debt reached a record high last year, and it's like adding worries because it could start to affect their economy because they're the second fastest growing economy in the world.
So basically, they're going into debt, just like Americans.
They're just becoming Americans, my man. So that's it. So. And what did it say? They said the country's household debt gross domestic product hit an all-time high of 49% in 2017. So it's a 20% increase over the past 5 years. So the crazy thing is that for them, they barely got hip to the game of like, I think it's in 2003 where they're able to get home loans, right? So now they get, so Chinese private households only obtained access to bank loans in 2003. So they're new to this, right? So...
what were they doing prior to that? How were they? It was just it's just being paid. It was outright paid.
Like communists, yeah. Okay. So this is what you get, you know. Okay. So then also, as I think of 3 years ago, online lending became a thing there, and there's so many people getting shook from that the government had to step in and put a hard regulations on that. So basically, what's happening when we're talking about the decreasing amount of middle class, what they're seeing with this model that they're using, which is what we're using as well, is that the wealthy people, they already outright own their homes. So what they're doing is they're spending all their money on luxury goods and sending their kids to good schools and traveling the world, while the other people are taking out these huge home loans. And since they're paying out their home loans, they're not putting their money back into the economy. It's all going to the bank.
They probably can't afford to send their students to the most exclusive schools.
And that's what's happening. So they're saying that sucks because what's happening is what it's going to do is going to handicap their economy because people are going to stop spending. And they're only going to put the money towards the bank, just like what we're doing. Student loans, things like that. So the economist over there was saying that this is going to be a problem. But especially the thing is that really wealthy, from what I hear, a lot of the wealthy Chinese are moving here, especially California, and they're buying fucking land like crazy. They're buying a ton of land, and they're sending their kids to the schools here.
Dude, they own a lot of stuff here in LA. It's crazy how much, all the development that's going on in downtown LA, a lot of that is attributed to the Chinese.
And they're trying to buy Leimert Park.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God!
They already own a percentage of it, but they're trying to buy Leimert Park.
That's scary because they're getting major footholds in the hood now. You know what I mean? Like Inglewood at the forum.
It's not going to be the hood.
It's not going to be the hood.
Not much longer. Nope. Not much longer.
Yeah, and so also Africa. They're buying up a ton of land in Africa.
Man.
They're saying that
Africa has the land.
Yeah, they're saying Africa.
That's the land you want because the fucking resources, you know, all the minerals and
all the
you
have diamond shit there. You have coal mine. You have
I saw
oil.
Blood Diamond. I know y'all got diamond.
There was actual a video that I came across that said Africa, the new China.
Well, because Africa too, I think is. What are they rich in? It's the vibranium.
No, for cell phones.
No, this time Steve missed the joke.
What you said?
Black Panther, man.
I don't know if Steve's even seen Black Panther.
I've seen it.
Fuck, of course you haven't. Not vibranium, but you were right. You were right.
The what is it? The metal.
The metal that they need to make all the fucking cell phones.
Yeah.
So they're like mining the shit out of that stuff.
But the purple, right? That's the purple stuff from Black Panther.
If you want to own a large percentage of any land in the world, Africa is the place. There's so much
land there. Because you know what's funny? Like,
what are the kids gonna look like?
When was the last time you've seen a fucking
beautiful?
You mix anything with the black,
babies.
you get big, beautiful baby. Now the Africa, the continent is so much more enormous than it shows on any map that you see. I want to see
it's the largest continent, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to see like a true to size map. I don't think I've ever.
Well, they're saying
one.
they're targeting Africa because that's where their true ancestry is. That's where all life started. So they're just going back home.
That's dope.
No, I'm just playing. I didn't say that.
I was looking. I was like.
I want to step off.
Simpson.
From Cameroon. I want to step off the plane in Africa and be like, I'm home.
I feel like
everybody looks like this nigga.
I'm gonna take my shoes off, and put my feet in the dirt.
Take that fucking dashiki. All right.
So, anyways, but I just thought that's crazy, man. Like they're coming up, they're juggernauts, but then
they're paying for it just like we are.
Just like we are.
Shit that's going on here that we're paying for. Yeah, they're paying for it over there too.
What's crazy
is breathing in all that fucking fucking silicone or whatever's flying through the air.
But what was crazy is when you guys follow Jeff Staple at all?
No.
Jeff Staple, he's like,
Fuck you, Jeff Staple. No, I'm just
Jeff Staple,
I don't know you.
No. Isn't he the designer?
Yeah, he's like
pigeon?
it's like a street. Yeah, exactly. So he just they just did a limited edition Nike release only in China. The pigeon times pandas or whatever they are. And then when you look at the line, it looks like a straight up just like an LA line. The way everyone was dressed in, I was like, they're all like wearing like street urban wear or whatever, the style.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I didn't know it was like that.
But all of that shit comes from the States. Everyone
Right.
pantomimes the States.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that it seems like people in other countries, they usually come up with something like really cool and inherent to them because they're always looking at what the States are doing, and then they'll put a little fucking spin on it.
Right.
And then it'll become something that's just inherent to that region.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the same thing with, you think about music from the UK.
Right.
Music from the UK, you can hear like house is American,
Right.
They put their spin on it.
Out of
and
Chicago,
It
right?
sounds fucking dope as shit,
Right.
The hip hop that they make is slightly different, but you can hear the roots, coming from America.
The graphic design.
But their graphic design, that's
Their
their
pornography.
shit though, right? I mean, European graphic design to me is
Somebody order a
higher
pizza?
level, is much higher level than
Shout
than
out
the
to Holland.
They got dope, design.
like Swiss
They're
shit
ill
and
with it.
stuff like that.
Yep,
Really
yep.
high level.
Yeah.
Dutch, dude. The Dutch
Stuff is extremely
That's
high
in their
level.
blood, though, man. That's
It
in their
is
blood.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. They've been doing it for a long time. All right. Hey, speaking of art, let's talk about this. Possible fake Hitler painting seized by police in Berlin. Dude, I was like, it says 3 watercolor paintings attributed to the former Nazi leader Adolf Hitler have been seized by
Where'd you
German
find-
police. I think if you guys know one of the anecdotes about Adolf Hitler is that he was he was declined admission to art school because he tried to be. Dude, look at these landscapes.
Yeah,
they're not too bad. I mean,
They should have let him in
He
art school.
wasn't bad.
Look at that! Look at that landscape.
Really
I
cool.
can't fucking paint that.
Damn.
I mean, look at this. Look at that. That's some home on the range shit right
That's
there.
the same
It's
thing.
like the Oregon Trail.
Wow,
it's
it's
beautiful.
interesting.
They must have had ridiculously high standards at that point.
Yeah.
Because
Look at that.
Even Van Gogh was considered
That's nice.
a trash painter at that
awesome.
point.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm like, the weird thing is that like, what does that tell you about artists, or what does that tell you about just Hitler himself? Like to someone who could, on one end of the spectrum, be
Creates-
painting these
yeah.
beautiful landscapes and capturing the idyllic natures, and
Then he's
the
like-
other one, he's like, I fucking hate these
Kill
people.
all the
Kill them.
Jews.
Yeah.
Kill the Jews.
Just like the most, like, what is
And
the
get
sickest
to my
person ever?
paintbrush.
Yeah.
Well, I think the real question is, where did you find the time?
Well, I
I'm
mean,
so busy.
I don't know.
He painted these prior to
That's
his,
why I
to his busy times.
They should have let him in art school. He would have saved the world a whole lot.
Hey,
of
look, check this out. Though.
pain.
It's actually not too bad. Each price for each one of these watercolor paintings is $4,500. I mean, that's pretty.
pretty good.
That's it?
For all of his atrocities. You would think that
On your own,
they would have
very
gone for
Yeah,
more.
it's only 4,000.
Yeah, any of us could have bought one of those Hitler paintings. I get it.
comes
Someone's
with
like, "Oh my god, that is a beautiful
painting.
landscape." Who? That's a Hitler.
yo.
It's
Hitler
no,
original.
that's not Hitler. You say that's a Hitler.
That's a Hitler.
Like
That's a Hitler. That's a
You've
Hitler.
elevated-
Yeah, that's a Hitler.
Really?
You don't recognize a Hitler when you see
You
one?
see, it's A. Hitler. That's one gentleman.
Yep.
Maybe you've heard of him.
That's who you think it is.
Wow.
Did you open up your fucking windows and shit and you point at it while your Jewish neighbors stare at you?
And dog.
They're like fucking crying and
Burn
shit.
your house down.
No, this is. I just thought it was interesting.
That
'cause,
is interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, these are good shit. I mean, he's too bad he turned out to be such a bad guy.
Yeah, man. He had that guy had a temper. That one.
Yeah. Yeah. Next one.
So, Steve, what about these openly gay Brazilian congressmen?
Fleeing the country over death threats. I mean, I didn't submit this one, but who did?
I don't know. BJ?
Oh, I did.
Dude, I was like, wait a minute.
This is what's interesting to me is that I was talking with my jiu-jitsu professor about this, and he was like, "Oh, the new president Bolsonaro is a real good guy. No one's It kind of reminded me of the way like a MAGA fucking defender would talk about Trump. Like, yeah, he's a good guy. He's not bad. Like he doesn't incite violence.
Think about the machismo, though.
Yes,
that is
he fucking does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, this guy John Willis, I don't know.
What you talking about?
John Wilkes Booth Willis. He's a gay Brazil politician, and he said he's not returning to Brazil because of the death threats that he's been receiving. He's an openly gay congressman, and he said that he said violence in Brazil has worsened since the election of the far-right president Jair Bolsonaro last year. They called him the Brazilian Trump, so I mean, you fucking connect the dots on what kind of person he is.
Right. Is that a good thing?
Mr. Bolsonaro vowed to tackle corruption and crime, but he also made racist and homophobic remarks. I think he's the one who also said, we talked about this on the podcast, that if his son was gay, he would like kill him or something.
Damn. I thought that was Kevin Hart.
Also Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart said that in hilarious satire. This guy was like dead serious about it.
Everyone laughed and he was straight-faced, yeah.
Did he say it in Portuguese?
He said people were shoving him in the streets, and he didn't. And even though he had bodyguards, he's just tired of living under protection. So, other people have been murdered in Brazil because of their sexual orientation. And yeah, man, it just eerily and creepily echoes what's going on here with people's proclivities of violence now, because they have a voice to embolden them, and
people still killing people over their sexual preferences.
Yeah, that shit. All I know is, man, if you're so firmly believe that, come to LA and try any of that shit. Try and be fucking racist. Try and be like openly, because it ain't gonna fly.
Oh no, you're gonna get lumped up.
It ain't gonna fly.
I've realized a little bit of what gay people go through, because I get.
Are you coming out right now?
No.
Here we go. I got excited.
Come on, let me clean it up. No, I'm gay.
Dang it, Trey.
But if I was, ain't nothing wrong.
No, we would still be doing podcasts.
We still be doing.
No, but she was wearing skinny jeans. People were like, gay ass nigga.
It's because you're black.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
Yeah, it is.
That's
true.
The only.
And they say it as if it's the worst thing they could possibly call me. I called you gay. Ha ha.
And then when you see it, okay,
I'm like, all right,
cool. You can go home, tell your mom the story too.
Something to tell the grandkids about. That time you talk shit about a guy with some jeans on.
Oh man, you should see his face. I was like, yeah,
Grandpa, I really got him.
I emphasized the G too.
Grandpa, you're real fucking petty. You have a real ego problem.
You have problems, man.
Oh, my grandkids hate me.
So,
tech news.
Fuck openly racist and homophobic people.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah. Kill the evil man. Tech news.
Footage released of new surveillance that uses advanced facial recognition. I have something to say about this. Someone posted a picture and they're like, hey, this might be you. On Facebook, you guys probably have seen this. I was like, might be me. I was like, what happened? Dude, my face was like the size of a fucking, like a nerd. And like, this is you, right? And I'm like, how did I can't even make that out looking at this photo. Like, and it was like this little tiny square, like you, right? And I was like,
it was either you or a ball of dust.
Yeah. I was like,
so I don't understand what's going on. What happened?
So like a photo was taken of a group of people, right? And I was like off in the back. I wasn't even like center front or anything. Okay. I was like, you see my cheekbone and like part of my eye. And it's like, that's you, right? I was like, what the hell? I was like, damn. I was like, really? Because it could be anybody with the beard, dude. Yeah. Like, and I was like, that's weird. I mean, I know it's connecting the dots with like people that you, but still, man, it's good and scary.
So facial recognition.
Yeah, so
it's probably like stuff that they have in like in London,
in China too. Yeah,
it's like
in China?
Very heavily surveilled.
So yeah, in China it says as technology continues to advance and we get deeper into the 21st century, shocking footage has been released that looks straight out of a Hollywood movie. In one of these clips, new technology appears to show the future of surveillance already underway, as monitors show detailed descriptions of anyone who walks by the camera. The information is picked up by the way of facial recognition, and among its features is the ability to identify by gender, age, body language, and use of glasses. So when these people walk by this video camera, this video camera picks up everything. It scans their faces. It takes facial recognition.
Yeah.
It looks for body language. Do they have a body language that seems aggressive? Is it passive? So it'll display that on the screen. it'll display their gender, their age, whether they have to wear corrective lenses of this sort. And this is happening in real time, and it's happening in front of multiple groups of people, and they have no problem with it. But I guess it's happening in China because they're trying to initiate some type of minority report law system.
It's called social currency.
Pre-crime?
No, what we were talking about is the social currency. So depending on like how much you're fucking up, your social currency could go up or go down. Another thing that they're doing is if you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, they actually put you on blast on big screens, and they shame you, publicly shame you.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. So I guess this is in Shenzhen.
Yeah.
So it's the city of Shenzhen, and it's a giant screen that's on display for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's an asshole. Just your fucking face plastered on it.
And I guess they're right now. I mean, obviously, it's not as advanced as it's going to be in the future, but they're just hoping to stop people or shame people from doing things like jaywalking and things like that, or littering. Yeah. So anytime a person litters and they litter around one of these cameras, it picks it up and it'll blast them on this screen for everyone to see. Oh my God, look.
Well, like I was saying,
that lady today at your job, she would have been on blast today. Like, you treated this worker like shit. Social currency -50.
Yeah. Well, it stops them from actually traveling out of the country, from buying land, from buying a home, from their kids going to a decent school. Your social currency is like really low.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, kind of like this. Only because LA is so full of fucking scumbag assholes.
Yeah.
That people need to be checked. Like, the problem is people don't get checked enough.
Yeah.
You just gotta hope the people that are initiating this type of program are not fucked up themselves, because then they start like inputting shit. Oh, I don't like this person, so let's drop their social currency. Let's say they did X, Y, and Z when they really didn't do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You walking around, you can't get a fucking
hot dog,
like anything. You can't buy shit.
Hot dog vendors got your number.
People are running. People are running away from you.
He's about to say, "Hey, I know you." No.
No.
Takes the hot dog out of your mouth. No. It gives you your 50 cents back.
Throws it at your face. So next one on. So we're on to entertainment.
What's the entertainment
and
news?
the funny thing is, I watched this a couple days ago.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing, and there's another one that just came out.
Oh shit!
Explain it.
And it's so.
Well, you can explain a little bit of it, and then I'll explain.
So read the headline.
Okay, so the headline is a Fire Festival restaurant owner wants Ja Rule to donate $100,000.
So speak about, because this is something I'm going to speak about after we give the rundown of what the Fire Festival is.
So basically, in this particular thing here, I don't remember too much about that.
Yeah, no, because
but
this
the
is
general,
new. This is new stuff.
Oh, it's new. Oh,
yeah, this is new stuff. So I'm saying, give the rundown of the idea of the Fire Festival.
So basically, I think his name's Billy, right? Billy.
Yeah, it is. It's Billy. So I'll say the name.
Right. So Billy and Ja Rule, they meet up because they have this idea, and that they bought this island, right? So they bought this island, and they're over there, and they're saying, why don't we throw like a concert? And why don't we do this? So the whole thing is
super exclusive island concert,
right? So and then they're only inviting like influencers. Yeah. So what they did a promo where they took all like the top models that are popular right now, and then they did the promo, and it made the shit look
Billy McFarland.
Billy McFarland, that's right. So that this is what it's going to be when you come here, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have all the top names. We're going to be doing all these concerts. You're going to have a ton of alcohol. This is the perfect party, right? Except for Sex Island. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to
It was built as basically a high-level luxury version of Coachella.
Exactly, right? So, but then the overall scheme of this whole thing is to pull people in because of the app that they're really trying to start, the Fire app. The Fire app was basically like the Uber of entertainment.
Yeah.
So you book it, and they either accept it or they don't, or the Tinder, right? You swipe right type of thing, or whatever it was. And if the artist accepts, then you got yourself Blink 182 or whatever, whoever it was. Yeah. So and then basically it all went to shit They ran out of funding.
Yeah, they didn't have enough money. So
FEMA tents, all this crazy stuff.
They basically wanted to throw a festival on. It was billed as a festival that was going to happen on a deserted island for the best and brightest and the people who could afford to actually go to this deserted island and see this festival.
So not the brightest, just people who had money.
Well, people who had money. But I mean, I say the brightest because it was supposed to be headlined by all of the top musical talent of that time.
Got you.
Now, what happened is that in theory, this was supposed to work perfectly. But when they got to this first initial island where they were supposed to throw this festival, there were certain things that didn't pan out, so they weren't able to house it on that island. Then they had to jump to another island. Then they had to jump to another island. And then they found out that the island that they settled on, it didn't have enough real estate to house all of these people.
Right.
Yeah.
So then they had to find ways to house all of these people in small quarters.
Also, there was no electricity, right?
And there was no
sanitation.
electricity and no sanitation. So they had to find out all of these things and get around all of these logistic nightmares to figure out how they were going to put on this festival. Now, they neglected to tell the people who had bought pre-sale tickets and who were continuing to buy tickets that this was going on. So they didn't bill it as this is something that we're trying to start and we're trying to figure this out and we're going to do so, by the time this festival was slated to start. So when people got there, it was half done. It was probably
it looked like a refugee camp.
It was probably a quarter.
Yeah.
It was a quarter of the way built.
It looked like a really big party had happened, and not all the stuff got hauled away.
Exactly.
But remember what happened? What happened is that they actually had it in like slightly better form, but the day before the event was slated to start, there was a huge storm that ran through the island for 24 hours before. So everything that they had put up the day before the event started, it was basically destroyed.
Yeah. But the other thing that they failed to mention was that this is a private island, but it was actually on an island that was.
It wasn't an island.
It wasn't an island.
Yeah, it wasn't actually an island.
Yeah, it was a shared land with Sandals, the resort. So what they did is there was like an area that was just kind of like cut off and it had like some water around it, but it was like 5 miles from the beach when they advertised that it was by the beach. It wasn't even by the beach. So they just took this one section that was just like, I don't know, like dead space, and they tried to convert it. So the second documentary that I saw on it, how there's some people are supposed, how people are supposed to get villas and they're supposed to.
I was just about to say that because originally it was built as villas. These
Right.
people were supposed to be, they were guaranteed, especially the talent, they were guaranteed a certain amount of villas for all of the people that they were going to bring with them. And then that turned into, well, these aren't villas. These are literally tents with fucking mattresses in them.
Right. But what I was going to say, though, is that in the other documentary that I saw, some people actually dig at the villas. It was crazy.
I didn't see any villas. Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't watch the second.
Yeah.
one,
So
A Sandals villa?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what it was, but it was legit, and it was a beautiful little villa they slept in while everyone else was fighting for wet soaked mattresses outside.
People were literally fighting for soaked mattresses.
Yeah.
Why? There's sand.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, here's the thing: is when the people who showed up, when they initially stepped off the plane, they were led into a diversion. So they were led to this woman who was saying that we only have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this woman who is saying that Ja Rule should donate $100,000 to her. She was the overall caterer for the event.
Oh, her.
Yeah. So she was the overall caterer for the event, and everyone who came to the island, as soon as they jumped off the plane, they were led to her restaurant.
Right.
And she was supposed to divert them for a little while longer while the workers tried to get everything in order. But they weren't able to do so. So once these people were led to the site where they were supposed to sleep, soon as they get there, everything's fucked up, and they basically just say, well, we can't, there's no way to charter a plane back, to mainland, so we're stuck here.
Right.
So rather than there being designated tents for these people to sleep in, at some point, the facilitators of the event just say, everybody just fucking have at it. Do whatever you can get. And whatever materials you can gather,
Lord of the Flies
it's for
after that.
you go ahead and do it. So people were grabbing 3 or 4 or 5 mattresses and running away with those
They're
shits.
stupid. I'm going for the refreshment stand. I'm trying to get that water.
There was no water.
Dude, some say those people are still there today.
What about?
Please tell me
All the Gilligan's Island.
Please tell me you remember the water situation with the guy.
I was about to say that right now.
Okay, explain that shit. That's fucking hilarious.
I don't know where they found this guy. But this dude was down as fuck, right? He was down to make this project go through. And so they didn't have proper water sanitation, so they needed...
He's Andy King.
Yeah, Andy King was called upon to speak to, like, the head...
Customs.
Yeah, Customs to be like, hey, we have no water, and I'll do whatever it takes. So Billy calls him and says, hey, listen, I need you to go down there. I need you to really convince this guy. I don't care. Suck his dick. And so this guy, Billy King, who is a gay man, was like, oh, my God. So he goes home, and he gets changed, and he goes, and then I brush my teeth. And I put mouthwash in, and I sit on my the couch, and I'm thinking, I'm really gonna go do this right now. I'm gonna go suck this man's dick.
He's gonna suck the dude's dick.
Dude's down as fuck. He's gonna make this
customs guy.
He's gonna suck the customs guy's dick. Well,
yeah.
and Andy King
To get water?
He was a part of the Fire Festival board or whatever. He's a part of the board. So the guy Billy McFarland, who put the whole thing together, he calls him and says, we need you to take one for the team. Yeah. So he goes down to the customs office,
assuming that this guy's gonna let the man suck his dick.
This is going into some weird dark territory.
Yeah.
And he goes there with the intention of sucking this man's dick because they need to release this water. It's customs. So customs basically, they speak to Fire Festival officials and they say, we need 25 grand to release this caravan or whatever of water.
That's one hell of a blowjob.
Fuck.
And they're saying we need it now. And so Billy McFarland realizes that they've spent all of the money that they can possibly spend, and they don't have that 25 grand on tap. So he calls this guy Andy King and says, we need you to take one. And Andy King is down as fuck. Like, fuck it. I'll suck that dude up.
Does it happen?
No, it doesn't happen.
When they release the water.
Yeah, when he
brushed his teeth for nothing.
Well, he goes to the guy. He goes to the head of customs, and he explains to him whatever I need to do. And I think he offers, but the head of customs is like, no, it's not that serious. You know?
No, sir, that's not necessary.
He's like, no, it's not that serious. So he
if it was serious, then yes,
he agrees for them to release the water, and everything is fine. But he says that after everything is over and done, we definitely need our money, and that money never reaches them.
How about a psychiatrist for the man? I'm gonna go suck this guy's dick for some water. I'd be like, Billy, you can suck my dick. How about that? I'm getting out of here.
It's really fucked up. Because remember when they were speaking about? I know we only have 5 minutes. We're probably not going to get into
2 minutes.
Well, we're 2 minutes, but remember when they were speaking about all of the workers? They basically employed every fucking
male,
like loose worker they could possibly find on that island. So they had the whole island of males working day and night to put together that Fire Festival site. And at the end of it, the dude, they just disappeared. Everyone just disappeared.
Fucking
they never
ghosted
paid these guys their money. So it was fucking, was it Bahamas? Were they Bahamian?
Yeah.
So yeah, all these angry fucking
Bahamian.
Bahamian
is something else.
Okay. Well, yeah, all of these angry Bahamians walking around.
Oh, you don't want to you don't want to be around an angry Bahamian.
Even the guy Andy King speaks about ducking it. Remember he was saying he had to run away and duck into
a cab
and scoot off. He's just like I'm out of here,
like a little rat. Yeah.
Well, dick sucking rat.
You're just dick sucking rat.
Is there any way we can possibly go through all of these?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Patton Oswalt brings aid to an ailing man who trolled him on Twitter. This just goes to show you the big, beautiful heart of Patton Oswalt. Not only is he a sweet little man, he's hilarious, and he's got a good heart. He basically got trolled by some fucking old asshole on Twitter who's like tried to come up with some lame shit to like slam him. And Patton Oswalt was like, oh man, this dude just attacked me on Twitter, and I joked back. But then I looked at his timeline, and he's in a lot of trouble health-wise. I'd be pissed off too. He's been dealt some shitty cards. Let's deal him some good ones. Click and donate, just like I'm about to. The guy sets up a fucking GoFundMe for this dude. The guy has in his little profile, it says help after sepsis, diabetic ketoacidosis, and a coma. Please. So the guy sets up the guy has a GoFundMe page, and he's at 550 of 5,000. Patton Oswalt donated 2,000 himself, and then tweeted others, and then he had like almost 8 G's after that. Nice. And this salty old fucking man, he was like. Blown away, he kind of had to like reevaluate himself, you know, like, what am I wasting my time with? He said, Patton, you have humbled me to the point where I can barely compose my words. You have caused me to take pause.
Suck your dick.
Yeah, no. You've caused me to take pause and reflect on how harmful words from my mouth could result in such an outpouring. Thank you for this, and I will pass this on to my cousin who also needs help. So, anyways, it was just kind of a feel-good moment.
That's nice.
As it turned the other cheek and actually have someone have a change of heart, which is so rare. When you have someone who, you know, might have some kind of vitriol, like unnecessary vitriol towards you, and then suddenly has some kind of inward reflection on someone who's like, yeah, man, I'll help you out. Even though you just pushed me down, I'm going to help you out.
Yeah, man, that's good.
Hooked him up, and that dude was like, if you're ever like in the area, like, I'm going to come to your show. And I don't know, it was just this feel-good story.
Cool. Well, let's clap it up for turning the other cheek.
Fuck yeah. Patton Oswalt.
Kill him with kindness.
Kill him with kindness.
Okay, so erotic drawing Tupac made for his girlfriend in prison sells for $21,000. So the X-rated drawing that the multi-talented Tupac Shakur made for his girlfriend while in prison back in 1995 was recently auctioned off for $21,155.75. Is that? God damn, why the 75 cents?
I don't know. Is it a big-ass dick with a kufi on it?
He had a couple inches.
No, it's him fucking his girl at the time.
And he's drawing. It's a drawing.
Yeah, it's a drawing. He self-drew a portrait of him fucking his girl on a couch. I've seen it.
That's hilarious.
That looks hilarious.
And he sent it to her. So it sold for $21,000, and I guess
he have like a clown face with the fucking teardrop.
No, he didn't. It wasn't that traditional.
Super traditional. Later.
But it says a wealthy man in his 60s. You know the white.
Yeah, he's gonna jack off to that.
So a wealthy man in his 60s put in the final bid, and it's Tupac fucking his then girlfriend Desiree Smith. And the art piece included a hand-decorated envelope along with a love letter addressed to Smith. That's pretty cool. You know, if you have the money.
You got the time.
I mean, because it's fucking Tupac. He's a legend. You know, and you have a piece of something that he personally put his time and effort into.
Nothing says I love you like a detailed drawing of you fucking your loved one.
Yeah, bitch.
You're all emphasized as like, your shit's like 25 inches long.
This is
She's
real.
dying.
This is the scale.
She's unconscious. You're like, this is the real. I just put her to sleep.
Put her on death row.
She's like, please get out of here. Put her on death row. Put her on death row. All right, well, good for Tupac, still making that money.
Hey, Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, you guys heard about this shit, right?
Yeah.
Chris Brown, he's got every major rapper gets accused of rape.
It's really fucked up because he was then released. You know, there was no no charges at all. So
well, let's see. So Chris Brown got charged with the rape in Paris.
I think he was there. Was it rape or attempted rape?
It was rape, and he was there for some Paris like fashion thing because he's such a fashionista. And he filed a criminal lawsuit against the rape accuser for defamation. So he put he said on some social media, this is all caps. I want to make it perfectly clear. This is false and a whole lot of cap. Never for my daughter and my family. This is so disrespectful and is against my character and morals. 6.
Cap is a new hip hop term, by the way. That means like just nonsense.
Whole lot of cap?
Whole cap means nonsense. It's just fucking bullshit. So it's another word for bullshit.
E40, please come back and bless us with some better fucking slang. And it's against my character and morals. And then he captioned a photo that said, "This bitch lying." Yeah. I wouldn't think that rape was in line with like domestic violence and shit like that, but he says it's not. What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Anyways, I wouldn't put it past the man to get into a little rapey action, but I also wouldn't put it past some thirsty ass bitch to say he was. Like, I don't fucking like Chris Brown, but they say forgive and forget.
Supposedly, the woman who has been detailed as being the one who's the rape accuser, she even said that he didn't touch her.
Whoa, this is
So
weird.
yes, so the Parisian woman that they say is saying he raped her was like, no, he didn't touch me at all. She said there was some other guy, and now first she said it was
some other black guy with tattoos.
First she said it was another guy, and it wasn't him, and some guy like punched her, and her
What?
her recent her recent like retelling is that she was she wasn't physically like raped, but she was psychologically pressured into sex.
The fucked up thing is that he's trying to bring his daughter to like show like, hey, I respect females, never my daughter, my family. It's like, yeah, really? You respect women, really? Shut the fuck up. Shut up, Chris Brown. Don't even defend him. I'm about to boo you off stage if you defend him.
Maybe he does.
I'm gonna boo you like Erykah Badu.
Oh, that's fucked up. Boo.
Boo. Boo this man. So anyways, who knows? Who knows? We'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay, Jackass Steve-O admits to snorting HIV blood-covered cocaine.
That's fucking disgusting.
Saw that.
Steve-O admits to snorting HIV blood-covered cocaine. Why did it have to be covered in blood?
I don't know.
Well,
HIV.
it just he says that he knew before, but when I read it at the end, it seems like he didn't know that it was HIV. It was from an HIV-infected individual. Until he found out later that individual that he was snorting cocaine with, who happened to bleed from his nose on the cocaine, he ended up being HIV positive.
It's gross.
That is so foul. So foul.
Yeah, he was.
But does he have HIV or what?
No, he doesn't have HIV. But the mere fact that you would need to snort cocaine so bad that you would look at even a pile of cocaine that has blood in it, and you decide
that blood off, right?
And you decide, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it.
Well, at least it's a good test subject. Can you get AIDS or HIV from snorting blood?
I think you can, right?
I feel like you could.
Because HIV, I guess it can't be contracted unless it's in like an open passage. Like
I think
a
it
wound
dies.
Or something.
I think it dies.
Don't you have capillaries and stuff in your nose that could be like could absorb like your mucal membranes?
But the thing is, I think it dies on immediate contact with air.
With the air, yeah. So I'll just read his quote. He says, "I went over to
let's hope for Steve-O's sake."
I went over to this table to scrape up a pile of cocaine to snort it. But as I sat down looking at it, blood had been squirted. You could see like the little tiny blood splattered on the residue.
Ugh.
It's gross, man.
Yeah. Magic
All
Johnson.
right,
approved.
well, now moving on to the...
Erykah Badu defends R.
This
Kelly
is
during
really
concert.
quick.
Gets booed.
And what sucked the most about it? Not the fact that she was even making excuses. It wasn't really an excuse, and she wasn't condoning anything that R. Kelly had done. But she was trying to, she wanted
exonerate him.
No, well, not exonerate him, but she wanted people to see him as a human being, and she was like, "Oh, I want peace and love for everyone, and I don't want anyone to be treated like less than a human being just because they've made bad choices."
Wait, as you say that, I just picture that girl getting their face peed on.
And the most fucked up thing about the video was that the person, the girl who was filming her, speak about this from the stage, you could tell she was heartbroken because you could hear by what she was saying that Erykah Badu must have been someone who she really looked up to.
Yeah,
and as soon as she started
more, huh?
Yeah, as soon as she started saying it, you could hear the girl behind the camera like, no, don't do this to me. Like, no. She's like, please, no, don't. What? Like, not you too.
Yeah.
And that was really sad to me because that's how I felt. I mean, first it's Jill Scott fucking like filleting a mic, and then I see you see all of your Soulquarian, your gods, the people that you put high on this pedestal. And when they're doing things that just have been typically what I view as typically out of character for them, it's hard. It's akin to don't meet your idols.
Because you'll be disappointed.
I just picture her trying to sing "Call Tyrone" through like a bunch of apple cores and fucking bottles being thrown at her.
Hey, listen, y'all. Hey, have either of you two seen? Sorry, don't mean to bother you.
Yeah, I watched part of it.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
With Killer Mike?
It's not with Killer Mike.
It's with the dude from Get Out.
Yes, with the dude from Get Out, and it's directed by one of the rappers from The Coop.
Oh, okay.
I know.
It's on
His name.
Netflix?
I forget his name.
No, it's Hulu.
It's called Sorry
Hulu?
to Bother You.
Sorry.
It is Crazy ass movie.
It's crazy.
Oh, I gotta watch it then.
that
Don't
shit is
tell me.
wild
I'm
as
gonna
shit.
watch it
And
tonight.
at the end, no, I'm not gonna say.
Oh,
anything.
like this
but
real?
no. But at the end, you're like, well, how the fuck did that turn that way? Well, what the fuck just happened?
Man.
You know?
Have you guys watched the Killer Mike series from Run the Jewels?
No.
I've been sleeping on it. I've saw
Dude,
it. And
I was sleeping on it too, but I was like, "Fuck it, let's pop it on." And
He has the Cripicola. And
dude, he has a lot. He has some interesting things to say. And then he was on Joe Rogan.
I saw that. Yeah, someone had the best fucking caption under it. They're like, "Damn, Lil Rel really let himself go."
Killer Mike is extremely intelligent.
Dude's very smart.
Yeah, he's a smart dude.
Intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to tell you though, just forewarning, when you watch the first episode, you're gonna see titties. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a time marker for
Sorry
that?
about that. Yeah.
I am appalled.
Yeah, it's
I am
disgusting.
Writing down comment. Hey, what's your last? You guys want to wrap this up before we get kicked out of here?
Oh yeah.
It's 10, 11. Time to go home.
I actually have a recommendation. Just
Okay.
As my closing, there's a TV show on HBO.
I thought you were gonna say book. I was gonna be like, oh, we're done.
We're done here. Good night, everybody. Good night, everyone. Fuck all that reading.
No, I'm sorry.
A show called High Maintenance on HBO.
I got one too.
It's actually really good. I got it on. I got it through like some email, and I was like, oh shit, I'll check it out. I've already like on season 2. It's really fucking well written and super interesting.
Already on season 2, but he can't fucking watch Heredity.
Actually, it's on. Actually, I just queued it up today, and Sarah and I are gonna watch it. So
Nice.
Hereditary.
Hereditary. Yeah.
We just finished watching the series Sex Education.
Yeah. I've seen that on my. I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't think I was gonna be into it at all, and then she was watching it, and then I got pulled in, and next thing you know, it's actually pretty good.
It's good.
It's
Okay.
pretty good.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, there's a kid in there that reminds me of this kid I went to school with, and I briefly knew him, and I was like, these girls were talking about him, and like
Was it that the young Indian cat with the speech impediment?
This the guy in.
I was trying to pinpoint who that was.
I know, me too. I was like, this the black kid in it, and there was this black kid I went to high school with. Just for a brief moment, I went to this high school, and he reminds me a lot of this kid. And I remember I was like, oh, but what's his name though? Like, he's gay. I was telling the girls, like, what? Yeah. He's not gay. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, he's like super gay. What do you mean? Like, beyond gay. I was like, the dude is like not even trying to hide it. I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, no, he likes girls. And I was like, what universe am I living in right now? Because the dude, he acts just like them, and I could be wrong. There's men that are very feminine, there's females that are very masculine, but like, I was like, pretty sure he was gay. And I remember he confronted me about it. He's like, why the fuck you telling people that I'm gay? I was like, but it was like, come on. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but you're gay though, right? But you are gay, right? Like, I'm sorry if I thought it was obvious.
Can you repeat the question?
And but then later on, he's like, yeah, I'm gay. Like, to the girls that I was talking to. And they're like, Steve, you're right, he was gay. I was like, why is that a surprise, guys? Why is that a surprise? It's not like we're talking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and then like I was telling him he's gay. Like, it's like, I mean, it was partial. It wasn't out of ignorance, I mean, I was only 16 years old, but it was obvious, man. Like, and there's nothing wrong with it. I was like, there's nothing wrong with being gay, so I don't understand, you know? So, but again, I was 16, and as an adult, I would never be like, you're gay. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, it's just,
The Rock would make sense too.
I'm not gonna lie, it probably would for me too.
Extremely handsome dude, and he takes care of himself.
Focuses way too much on his physique.
Yeah.
You're saying you let him have it? Is that what's?
No, I didn't say that.
No, I thought that's where we were going.
No.
Oh, sorry, Trey. Sorry, kid. It's all right.
I'd let him have it.
See, first,
I think he would let you have it.
That's what I mean.
First I'm poolside raping little white kids. Now I'm trying to fuck Dwayne Johnson.
Come on, Trey. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in.
You guys can find us on all sorts of fucking
Overcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podbean, iTunes, and some other shit.
You can
find us. Email us at
the Mystery Children Podcast
at
gmail.com.
Hey, hit us up. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you don't like.
Yeah.
Talk to us. Let us know that you're out there.
Talk shit. Say something.
I know there's 7 voices out there.
Buenos noches.
Buenas noches,
Good night.
y'all.
Good night.
Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.